CL 650 presents your source for leading-edge news and information on today's hottest products and services. This is Experts on Call.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard.
And welcome to the show. It's everything to do with living in a strata. The show is called StrataLife on CL 650. I'm Zach Spencer. And, some stage of your life, you're going to live probably in a strata. Maybe when you're younger and you haven't bought maybe a detached home, or maybe you're downsizing from a detached home into a condo, or maybe your entire life you're living in sort of apartment-style living. And often that deals with stratas because there's not that many rental buildings anymore. People are buying condos and then renting them out, and you have to deal with all of the issues about living in a strata. So we have our experts here. We have Drew Grout, Director of Strata Services from Key Pacific Property Management, and we have Mark Furkatich, the owner and operator manager of Valley All Door. I'm guessing it has to do with doors. Pretty good guess, right?
Underground security gates for apartment buildings, yes.
All right, good. So we're going to talk about that. First of all, there was an email that went out that it was holiday sweater, Christmas sweater day. Obviously, Mark, you and I resisted. Drew got the reindeer tie, so well played.
Yes, nice spirit.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what each of you do, and then we'll get into a bit of some specifics, and we'll talk a little bit about the weather we've had recently. So, Drew, Key Pacific Property Management is a company that is basically hired by a strata to help run their building, right?
Yeah, for that part of our business, which is the largest part, that's what happens. We work with the strata corporations through the strata councils to help them administer their common property and help protect their assets. And
it goes from a little bit of help to running pretty much everything, right?
That's right. From accounting only right up to full service meetings every month if necessary. So
and
it's full range.
And does it depend typically on the size of the building, how much you're involved?
There's a few components. Size is one of them. Activity of the council, how active they are in the operation of the strata, and basically their financial requirements and needs. So,
and I guess the more money they have, they can outsource some of the duties to run their strata with a management company instead of taking it on themselves, right?
Yeah, often the management contract will be one of the largest financial contracts they have. So not every strata has the interest in spending that amount of money to do things. And that's why we provide a package that will suit their needs. So if money is a real concern, then we can work within that to provide service in a variety of different fashions to keep the costs down for them.
And it's one of those things, it's you pinch a penny, you can save, you spend it in the long run. I mean, you have somebody like Key Pacific Property Management in your back pocket there to answer your questions, and they've seen many of these issues come up. So if you try to do it on your own, you're kind of walking blind in the night, right? And that's the nice thing about having Key Pacific is you've dealt with most of these issues in the past.
Yes. And so we've dealt with stratas that are one step to self-management, and we can provide a level of service to them based on needs at a particular given time. So it's quite flexible.
All right. Now, Mark Furkatich, welcome to the show. Valley All Door, you mentioned a little bit of what you do. So expand on what you do.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, Valley All Door is now celebrating 42 years in business. Mm-hmm. We were the original designers of the 2-section overhead security gates for apartment buildings.
What does that mean? Explain what that means.
They're underground parkade gate for their apartment. Garage doors, most of them call them their garage doors.
And you guys helped develop that?
We're original designers and installers.
Really?
Started in 1975, and we've streamlined our business now down to really service, maintenance, and repair. Work strictly through property management companies and provide service maintenance programs. We redo entry systems, all assets of their garage door for repair service. And that's our streamline now is what we've really done.
Well, that's a big deal because so many people have had break-ins in underground garages, and that gate really is the line of defense. So we'll get into that a little bit more. I just wanted to bring up, before we get started into individual questions, a bit about the time of year here, and we've had some recent snow. In a strata, who is responsible for clearing snow, either on the walkways or on the driveways? And, Mark, you might know a little bit about this. So how does that typically work? Do you hire a snow removal company? And in Vancouver, you can go years without using their service, right?
Typically, a strata would be responsible for anything involving the common property, and that's where the snow's falling on common property. So the strata corporation would be responsible for providing some services there. Again, it depends on what the overall ownership wants to do in terms of spending their money. But yes, they would enter in a contract with a local company to clear snow and to salt the common roadways, the sidewalks, possibly some of the interior walkways, although many stratas will use volunteer service to do some of the interior walkways and things. But there's a combination of snow removal activity, but to answer the question, yes, the strata is responsible for that.
Now, sometimes you have the company that provides the landscaping and gardening also does the snow removal in the winter. So they want a 12-month business. So is it often sort of one contract? Okay, you guys cut the grass in the summer, but you also can clear the snow?
There are a number of landscape contractors who provide that winter service. But there's also a lot of snow removal contractors out there who
just do that.
Yeah. And one of the things, too, particularly out here, is you don't have regular snow removal. So often the strata might say, we just want the snow removal, but we'll take care of the salting ourselves. And some of these companies are saying, look, we've got to do it all, or we just can't afford to do it. We can't just sit and wait for snow. We need to have some
constant income,
business.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and the salting is a key part of that, because particularly this time of year, you're salting now whether there's snow or not. There was a little bit of snow the other day, and there's some slush or some wetness on the roadways or sidewalks, and that freeze-thaw activity, you need to have salting happening.
And that's the thing, is typically you're not slipping and falling because of 15 centimeters of snow. It's the ice. After you've shoveled it all away, it thaws and then it freezes, and then you get the ice. So that's actually more important.
Yes,
the salting.
Yeah.
All right, now what about Mark with the gates? Like if you have a snow removal company and the gate's at the bottom of a sort of a steep driveway or something, they might not get their truck all the way down there.
Yes.
Or there's a gate that's exposed in to the elements, sort of outside. So what's your advice to a strata around not getting the gate frozen shut?
Yeah, especially the last week and coming up here Thursday, Friday. Gated communities with swing gates, slide gates especially, really better off to leave them shut down.
Or leave them open, you mean?
Leave them open,
right.
The swing gates open, or if there's a significant amount of snow, and just a small amount of snow, with the gates running on the track, it builds up with snow. The operator itself can't push it, it meets resistance, it shuts down, or it gets stuck, or it'll jump off the track. So to save a service call and any problems, through the evening, leave them shut down until the following day where the track can be cleared. That's our advice usually, just leave them open because they just won't run through the snow.
Yeah, tough decisions for stratas. Security, maintenance, the gates, I've seen them jump off the track as he described, and that's costly a few $100 to take care of. And
the other thing is, the cars coming in and out, they've got any salt on them.
Yeah.
A salt gets into the mechanism of the gate, right? That corrodes things over the long run. So is it something that part of your maintenance is to clean them, make sure that they're not covered?
Well, if it does snow like this, it's Strata's responsibility right now to go out there themselves either. And many Stratas do. Council members maybe go out, clean the track, let the gates run. And most have caught on over the years. I've had 2 calls, matter of fact, yesterday, what should we do with our gates? One here in Richmond. They've said they've left it open until Friday. Can we come back and make sure everything's okay? Mm-hmm. One in Surrey this morning said the same thing. We're going to leave our gate open. Can you come Friday morning, get it running back for us?
All right. Now, the other one is, you have a building or a couple of buildings as part of a strata, and somebody's got Christmas lights up. Somebody has a tree, and somebody doesn't. Like the rules around how you're able to decorate your individual unit must be troublesome, because is there a standard for decorating stratas typically?
It's we're seeing more and more where stratas are putting in bylaws as guidelines for owners to decorate during whatever festive season it is. We're into Christmas right now, but there are other festive times of the year for different
Thanksgiving,
different
and Halloween,
groups.
and all that.
Yeah. Different nationalities celebrate different things at different times of the year, and so stratas are trying to manage that whole thing a little better through the bylaws. A couple of the concerns are, one is aesthetics. Some people just not into doing that. They don't like, seeing the lights up when they're not lit.
Mm-hmm.
They look ugly.
All those icicle lights, yeah.
Yeah. But then again,
I agree with that. There should be a citywide bylaw against icicle lights after January 1st.
So we're seeing stratas.
That's you can see how these fights start. You get a guy like Zach on the strata.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, we got another letter from him. Ignore him. He'll go away.
Oh, yeah. I'm like a bad smell. I keep coming back.
Yeah. So they'll put in a bylaw with some guidelines, and they may have you can't put them up until November 15th, and they must be down by January 15th. So get you through that end of December, beginning of the New Year season. But the other concern, and the bylaws help address that, is how they're installed. There's lots of different doohickeys to put your lights up, and some of them involve screwing into the sign. And stratas typically don't want people...
Because that's kind of the common area now, isn't it?
Yes, it's outside the building. It's common area. And, they don't want people indiscriminately putting screws into the wood framing or the siding. Common sense isn't common. So some people will just go and do some stuff because it looks good, and they don't know any better. And so stratas try to control and manage that through the bylaws, giving some guidelines as to how they must be put in and when they can be put in.
All right. That's the voice of Drew Grout, our Director of Strata Services at Key Pacific Property Management. And Mark Furkatich also joins us from Valley Aldor. And we're going to have some specific questions for Mark next on StrataLife here on CL 650.
This is Experts on Call on CL 650.